Hey and welcome to BoatProjectY. Thank you for joining us as we unveil the secrets behind transforming this extraordinary vessel and discover the hard work, the exceptional craftsmanship and the unyielding spirit of adventure that accompanies every build. Crazy hot today. I'm going in here. Ahoy there, let's dive straight into episode 48. To counter the claustrophobic vibes in the chain locker while I'm cleaning it, and because I really wanted a safety escape hatch in the forward cabins, I'm repurposing the old deck hatch to do the trick. The name of the game here is measure, mark and grind away. As you can see, the anchor locker is crying out for a makeover. No structural damages, thank you Neptune, but water hitching right from the anchor chain and condensation have wreaked havoc on the paint. The future plan is to craft a plastic barrel to catch the chain, and then keep the steel from turning into a modern piece of art. I'm using a whole arsenal of tools for this job, from tiny to massive needle scalers and rotating steel brushes, to strip away any rust and flaky paint. There's a steel pipe guiding the anchor chain from the windlass on deck into the water. I gave it a stress test and found a spot where the steel was even thinner than a sailor's patience. Time for a replacement. But that got me thinking. How about slipping a thick-walled plastic pipe inside the steel casing to save the chain and to give it a smoother ride in and out? Any bright ideas on how to seal the deal between the steel and the plastic pipe though? I want to avoid any water pooling between the plastic pipe and the steel housing. Any of your suggestions are welcome in the comments. Utterly crazy. Brutal.
2, 1, 0. Game over. Even I need my nap time.
Round 2. Fight!
We're scrubbing the steel down to a solid base, evicting all loose rust and paint flakes, and roughening up the surface just enough for the new paint to grab on tight. Too smooth of a finish is in this case a bad idea.
Oh boy.
Let me talk about this too. Come with it. Alright, well, I've got to tell you about this tool. Now this tool, damn, it's by far one of my most favorite tools in this rebuild of this boat. The reason I want to talk about it is because loyal viewers will notice that this is a new one. So I reached out to the wonderful people of Holger Claassen for some advice. They are the European distributor for Nito Koki, and they gave me some real good advice. Now let me list this up for you, because I bought some other needle guns, some needle scalers, knockoffs on eBay and on Amazon, and frankly, they're not worth the money. This is an expensive tool, I agree, and that's why you gotta use it right, so you get a maximum of duty time out of it. Let me tell you how. Let me introduce you once again to a true powerhouse in hull preparation, the Nito Kogi AJC32A needle scaler. No, it's not the sexiest of names, but the result makes up for it. This tool is built for serious surface work. Whether you're stripping paint, removing rust or prepping the hull for primer, the AJC32A gets it done fast and efficiently. But like any powerful tool, it needs to be treated with respect. The rated operation time is about 30 minutes, followed by an equal cooldown period. While cooling down, I use the smaller scalers to attack the corners and hard to reach places. Secondly, and very importantly, is not to lean into it. It's not a tool that likes to be forced. Applying too much pressure while working doesn't make it faster. It just wears out the machine, the workpiece, and probably your back too. Let the tool do the work. It's designed that way. The needles on this machine automatically adapt to almost any shape. They reach deep into the corners, tackle uneven surfaces and follow every contour. It leaves behind a perfect abraded surface that's ready for primer. Keep in mind that this scaler isn't for your go-to tight spaces. It performs well on larger surfaces, preferably under a slight angle. That's where the needle's action disperses beautifully. A quick word on care. This machine needs oil and grease, but don't overdo it. Too much lubrication can backfire and put unnecessary strain on the motor. A little goes a long way. Of course, Holger Claassen backs you up with their fantastic service center and helpful support team, with a full stock of spare parts ready to ship, so your scaler stays in ship shape year after year. This needle scaler is an essential part for any serious steelboat restorer arsenal. If you got a hull to prep, this is the tool you want by your side. For more info or to browse the full range, visit holgerclassen.de. So if you're looking for quality tools that last, advice that matters and know-how, please do reach out to Holger Claassen globally, but especially if you're in Europe. They got the know-how, they got the tools. You won't regret it. Oh yes, and then there's still that pesky hole in the hull. Let's patch that up, shall we? I'm using a 15-ton hand pump to muscle the steel into place for a neat weld. Right now it's just tack weld since I'm still fiddling with the new piece's position. Plus I'm calling in a pro welder for the underwater bits. It's better safe than sorry for a good night's sleep, right? Just my luck, I've run out of welding wire and had to resort to welding rods to attach my artwork to the boat. Basically, I think I made a mistake. So the upper part and the lower part are nice and they're well fixed, but now it's not touching the rib anymore. So I guess I'll have to open the bottom part again. First, fix the rib halfway through. Whoa, let me tell you, it's quite the thrill seeing and hearing the steel snap back into place. The game plan here is to weld the new steel in the middle of the ribs first, and then push and weld the top and the bottoms into shape. I think this would be the solution. First hit on the middle part, then the upper and then the lower, because as you can see the top weld already cracked under the load. So I think that might be the better solution. Let's try and find out. As you can see, I'm having a hard time welding with sticks. Haven't done it much. The roll-in is always difficult. I can't get it to flow the way I like it. But once it's running, then I get quite a decent weld. Look at this. You can clearly see here's the start, and then I walked upwards. Looks so good. And then this, like me. I think this is it. I think I'm gonna leave it like that. Fill this up with weld. There's a 5 centimeter beam here anyway. Wish it was different, but yeah. That's the way it is. least we have one side in, alright.